All right, y'all, let's get into this. So, the latest episode of Grown in Gospel. This is the third episode. Before we get started, though, I have to say thank you to everyone that has supported, watched the reviews. I really appreciate it. Those of you that have been commenting, I appreciate that, and liking. I really do appreciate it. I don't take it lightly, so I just want to say thank you to all my new subscribers. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And if you have not, if you're new to the channel, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. You'll see sound effects and all that fun stuff appearing on the screen. So just do it. Just do it, please. But no, I really appreciate it. So without further delay, let's get into this next episode of Grown in Gospel. And when I tell you, which by the way, your boy just got his hair done, just got his hair retwisted and stuff. So I ain't no hat today. Now, mind you, I do still need a lineup, but I feel like it was good enough for the camera. So yeah, shout out to Sherelle, my hairstylist in Indianapolis. So by the way, you already know, got my chai tea with my white chocolate cream, Starbucks. There was a lot of bombs, y'all. There were a lot of bombs that was dropped in this latest episode. So, in the beginning, the scene starts off with Bree in somebody's backyard. I'm assuming it's hers, but it looked like she was in somebody's backyard. And they had access to a lake and all that stuff. So Bree, walking down to the lake, and she FaceTimes Jay Brooks. Jay Brooks is living his best life in Mexico, viewing the Mayan ruins and all that stuff. He's living his best life. So Jay Brooks is in Mexico, and they're FaceTiming, and he got his shirt all unbuttoned. I mean, he ain't showing nothing like crazy, but the wind is going. His little beach shirt is, it's fluttering and all that stuff. I just thought it was funny. So they discuss Elijah. So note this. This scene did not happen after Elijah and the whole birthday incident with Bree. I feel like that did not happen. I feel like that was not in chronological order. I feel like they just put this scene with that. But I don't feel that this particularly took place after the initial incident with Elijah and the birthday party. And I say that because they're discussing Elijah, and they're discussing, how extra, or Bree is like saying how extra he is. And, Jay Brooks is, which I'm kind of shocked, but I mean, he knows him. And so he is basically like, give him a chance. And, Elijah's just extra, and this is, his personality and stuff. And so, he has a weird way of showing it. It's almost like one of those, it's like the kid who picks on the other kid because of whatever reason, but in true, deep down inside, they actually like the kid, and they, really have an infatuation, like Angelica in Hey Arnold. Was Angelica her name? I don't think Angelica was her name. What was that child's name? I don't remember. But remember the girl in Hey Arnold, and she used to always pick on Arnold, but she really had an infatuation and an obsession with him. I feel like that's Elisha. And if you pay attention to his commentary in his confessionals and stuff like that, I think he really likes Bree. He really likes Bree. I feel like that's why he puts so much of his energy into picking on her or calling things out that he doesn't like about her. But the thing is, they didn't mention anything about the birthday party. They were just talking about how extra he is, and Bree's like, she's trying to figure him out and still trying to understand, because she's just not used to somebody that's just so extra. But not one time in that conversation with Jay Brooks did they talk about the birthday party, did they talk about what he did, how it affected her, or anything like that. So that leads me to believe that this scene was not after the birthday party. This scene actually took place before, or maybe some time had passed, but I think it took place before the birthday party, maybe when they met at the furniture store. So yeah, Jay Brooks, like I said, he was just really trying to defend Elijah's extraness and telling Bree to really, don't take it personal, and that his intentions are good, but his actions rubs people the wrong way. So that's that scene. Moving on. So then next scene is Tasha and Nikki. So they arrive at the spa, and I'm thinking they both about to go get massages, and they about to just wine dine, or not wine dine, but wind down, and relax, relate, release, and all that stuff. No. Nikki didn't get anything done. Tasha was there to get her legs whacked. And Nikki like, girl, you talking about get these legs whacked, get that cootie cat wax. Get that cootie cat wax. How about that? So Tasha's husband is coming into town, and that's why they're at the spa, and that's why she's going to get her legs waxed. Now, I'm going to talk about this a little later on in this episode, but if you've been watching the reviews, you've heard me say about there being something, with Tasha and her marriage. So when she came onto the show, I was curious if that was ever going to be discussed, or if that was ever going to be talked about, because clearly, at least initially, they did not show him, and she made reference of the marriage, but didn't really go into it. But this episode, y'all, they go into it, and it's a lot of bombs. It's a lot of bombs on this episode. A lot of bombs. So yeah, Nikki, she's saying she need to get her cootie cat wax. Tasha's getting her legs waxed because she thinking that when her husband comes into town that they're gonna have some good makeup sex, and maybe even make a baby, maybe try about once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times to make a baby, who knows. And so she's getting ready for all that stuff. So that's pretty much that scene. It was very funny. Tasha is funny. I will give her that. Tasha and Nikki, they are definitely some girls that I wouldn't mind hanging around, because they are comedy. So funny, because when they was pulling that wax off that leg, them tongues was coming all the way through. Glory. On to the next scene. So Elijah is at this photo shoot setup or whatnot that he is putting together for Bree. I told you, I think Elijah he wants Bree, and not just wants her to be successful. He wants her. Now, I also think something else about Elijah. I'm not going to put speculation out there. However, his actions and what he's doing for Bree, and I'm going by what he says in his confessionals. I don't want y'all to think I'm just making this stuff up. In his confessionals, he literally... you can tell that the boy has a little crush on Bree. He has a crush on Bree. So then Bree arrives, and of course, what's on the top of Elijah's mind and what's on the top of her mind is what happened at the birthday party. Now, here's the thing, and this is why I just can't get into you, Elijah, because you have a character flaw, my friend. And not just a character flaw, but it's a flaw that is so deep. You got a stronghold on that character flaw. That character flaw has a stronghold on you. He starts off and says, I just don't understand why you were so upset. It was one of those conversations where you're giving the person a backhanded apology. And he already said he really wasn't trying to apologize in the get-go. And Bree's naive self is just saying, well, I think he's sincere. And to her credit, she did kind of say, well, first of all, it wasn't just about the shoes. She had pointed out, you were making fun about the sound and the mics and all that stuff. Then you were poking at the decorations, and then you stuck your finger in her cake. And so by the time the whole shoes and with collecting with the trash, by the time that had happened, she had just reached her boiling point, and it was done. She was done. She was over it, and she had just reached her boiling points. Now, I do have to side on Elijah on this. Them decorations, Bree. She said that's all she could afford, but baby, them decorations, again, y'all could have just went to dinner. Y'all could have just had a little dinner, and it didn't even have to be nothing expensive. Y'all could have just went to Applebee's for half off appetizers. Like, it didn't even have to be that. Like, it didn't have to be anything so grand or anything. Like, y'all could have just literally showed up at Applebee's. Hey, let's meet up, half off appetizers. Like, I mean, come on. I still gets down with the Applebee's. Now, I don't go as often as I used to, but that's just because I don't eat out as often as I used to, because your boy, you know, in the gym lifting. But no, I have nothing against Applebee's, and if anybody ever invites me, and people have invited me to Applebee's, okay, let go. He apologized, and Bree took his apology as it being sincere and stuff. Girl, if you really thought that that was a sincere apology, that just leads me to believe half the stuff that you have gone through in your life, you brought on yourself, because you just didn't want to listen. You just didn't want to see it for what it is in your face. Like, this man has literally played in your face. I don't know what more he needs to do to make you see that this man is not, like, talking about sincere apology, but I digress. The next scene. So, okay, y'all, get ready for the bombs. Hold your mule. Get ready for the bombs. So, Tasha goes to Bree's place, right? And so the camera crew, so they got a little bit more of Bree set up at her place, and she very much so does have a air mattress on the floor in the corner. I don't even think it had a sheet on it. I think it just had a pillow and a blanket, and then she had her desk with her computer and all that stuff. But I will say this, now wherever she living, they got good lighting. I'm a fanatic about windows and natural light, so I think it was like a studio. I think she lives in like I said, like a whole studio setup, which is cool. You know, a lot of people, New York does it. Everybody in New York, that's how they living, in studios. Literally. Tasha arrives at Bree's place, and Tasha was like, "Oh, this is cute and cozy." It's the shade for me, but no, I don't think Tasha was really being shady. I think what else can you say? I mean, you can't say it's big and spacious. Tasha is a giver. I will say that about Tasha, and I'll go through while I'm saying this, but yeah, Tasha is definitely a giver. She arrives at Bree's place with gifts, or a gift set. I think it was like towels or something like that. So Bree had mentioned in her confessional about her and Tasha basically having a connection based off of each other's past, and you know how, you know, Bree's past wasn't so clean, and Tasha's past hasn't been so clean in the eyes of the church. And so she had brought that up, and she was really hoping that, you know, her and Tasha could really connect on that level. So Jay Brooks, he had already insinuated that, you know, Bree's past was a little bit against the grain, maybe more against the grain than what the church can actually take. So when he said that, I was already looking like, sir, what, like, I mean, what do you mean? What do you mean? So Bree, she still works a full-time job. Bree is still working a full-time job, so she has her work from home set up. Y'all, I'm getting like really hot. It's like very hot in here. Okay, hold on. All right, y'all. Whew, I had to come up out that sweater. It was getting it's like 60 degrees outside, and yeah, I had to come up out that sweater. My hair back together. Where did I leave off at? So Tasha, you know, Tasha and Bree, they, you know, start talking, and so Tasha, she asks questions regarding Bree's music, and I feel like she was asking these specific questions to gauge Bree's passion. She wanted to know where Bree's passion was in music. And so, you know, she had asked about, you know, is it frustrating for her to still have to work a 9-to-5 and not be able to dedicate time or that same amount of time to her music? And so Bree's response was essentially like, you know, she feels hopeless because she doesn't have the time or the space to release her creative mind, or release her creative art, or artistry, I should say, and all those things. So yeah, it is frustrating, and she just feels like because of where she is in life, and because, listen, the bills still got to be paid, the lights still got to be on, the heat still got to be on and working. I think Bree, she's smart enough to know that she doesn't have the resources to just go off the grid and just strictly focus on music. And if it ain't about the music, and she's not worried about it. No, she has enough sense to know, I still got to pay these bills. I still got to, have food in the refrigerator. And I don't even know if the girl got kids or not, but if she does have kids, no, we can't do it this way. She was talking about how she's just getting older and older, and it's just like time is just like slipping away from her, because it's like this music stuff just is still not happening. I mean, listen, baby, that's life. I mean, I feel like that is life. Like, you have to, there is a balance. But if you have something, or that you have a craft that you want to perfect, you're going to have to, you got to bend somewhere. And I feel that Bree's passion for music, I don't feel like she really has a passion for music. Yeah, the girl can sing, and she's done these different things with her dad, or just in the industry as far as background singing and stuff. But if you really had a passion for something, even if you did have a 9 to 5, okay, so then from 5 to however long it take you're gonna be working to produce music, do what you gotta do. And what's crazy, and I don't know if someone mentioned this, but things are so accessible now where there's really no excuse. You don't even need to go to a studio. Like, as long as you got a smartphone at this point, you can do anything you want to do that you could do in the studio. You can make songs, you can get beats, you can hear, there's some things that you may need someone else to assist with, but for the core part, you can write songs, you can get a little medley together, you can, record yourself and all that stuff. I mean, you can buy a little mic like I have on this camera here. I mean, literally, it's not as complex, or it's not as unreachable as far as just getting stuff, or getting material, or getting different things, because essentially people can make, they phone is their studio. Like, if you really want to do it, you could do this, Bree. You could do it. But I honestly feel like Bree's passion just really isn't there, and that explains why she is where she is right now, and why the music has just not lifted or taken off. So moving on. So then, so they end up, talking about. So Tasha mentions about how when she was working, all she could think about was music, and she just found herself like, writing songs or having songs in her head and singing them out while she's doing hair, curling hair, all that stuff. And so come to find out, Bree also went to hair school. And so Bree had pointed out, oh yeah, like, they had a connection there. And so Bree already kind of knew that Tasha, had, in quote unquote, a gritty past. And so Tasha brings up about, her singing in the strip club. Tasha herself talks about, how she would sing in the strip club on Saturday, and come and sing on the praise team, or lead praise and worship and direct the choir on Sunday, and how nobody in her family really knew that she was living this double life. And I don't know why she was singing in the strip club. That part was not disclosed. I don't believe that it was for the same reason that Bree was in the strip club. And y'all, prepare yourselves. Here is the bomb. So, as I mentioned, Tasha mentioned about her singing in the strip club and stuff like that. So Bree's just like, since you brought up the strip club, yeah, that was actually me. When she was in the strip club, she was in the strip club because she was dancing. Now, if you watch my reviews, I said that Jay Brooks had made a comment insinuating that, Bree's past was definitely going to be against the grain, and maybe a little bit more than what your typical church folks could handle. He did. He did say that. But I didn't want to just jump to conclusions like, oh, is he saying that this girl was a stripper or a hoe or something. Like what did she do? But come to find out, yes, Bree used to be a stripper. Yes. Which is quite interesting, because when they talk about like her looks and all that stuff and how she dresses, I mean, I guess if you're a stripper, you're really not putting too much of anything into your dressing, because it's all coming off. But yeah, I was a little shocked. So then the next bomb, because that's not the only bomb, y'all. So then the next bomb that was dropped was that Bree was like, well, and then because I was in the strip club and, looking at all these, other beautiful women that was around me, I then became curious, and apparently she, had entertained having a same-sex relationship.
Shut the front door.
With women and things like that. Now, I don't know. She didn't go into like how long or, but she did mention about having the same sex attraction, essentially, for a while, I think. Well, I shouldn't say a while, but yeah. She definitely had, it was there, or it started to develop, and it did develop. But you wanna know what's interesting? This is Fred Hammond's daughter, y'all. But what's interesting is that people who have a gift, people who have an anointing, when you peel back, the curtain and see their life as far as what they have to go through and things, it's like, wow, you really, like, you are paying the price for this anointing. I can't say, I said that so weird. You are paying the price for this anointing. Like, when you think about people like Fred Hammond and Kirk Franklin, and even though I'm not a Kirk Franklin fan at all, but hearing and when it came out about his son and the things that he's had to go through and endure with his son, well, I'll say even Leandria Johnson. There's several artists who just have an anointing like no other. And when you have a gift or you have an anointing that's just so powerful or so impactful, we tend to think, oh, that's just because, oh, they're just gifted, or that's just because. When these folks literally are dealing, I mean, can you imagine when Fred Hammond was writing, blessed, we're blessed in the city, we're blessed in the fields, like, and knowing that his daughter is at the strip club stripping. Now, I don't know if he really knew this at that time or not, but just stay with me here. Just stay with me. Just imagine him having to write that song knowing that his daughter is literally out shaking her tail and breastises in front of some man or woman's face and, doing whatever that comes with that. I mean, can you just imagine still having to write these songs or being able to write these songs and knowing that, I gotta give these, I mean, we cannot, I know it's hard, but these people go through life just like the rest of us, and nobody is exempt. And I'm actually quite happy. I'm happy that Bree, just put it out there and just let it be known. And it takes a lot of bravery and courage to be able to, basically let yourself be so vulnerable to say, yeah, I'm Fred Hammond's daughter and I was a stripper. Like, like the two don't even go together. Like, Fred Hammond, daughter, stripper. Like, the two just don't even go together. But here's the thing about God, and again, I don't mean to go this way, but the thing about God, when you truly find him and when you truly learn who he is, you will see that he can clean you up. Would nobody be able to tell me that's Fred Hammond's daughter, and even the way she's looking right now, I would never have guessed, like, oh, she probably used to be a stripper back in the day. And mind you, Tasha done said this girl looked like a librarian. She looks like she just got done cooking a pot of greens. She's been said all these other things, but she didn't mention nothing about her looking like a stripper, looking like somebody that just came off the pole. I mean, so clearly she don't look like what she's been through, and she has been through a lot. So how did she get to the stripping? Well, so after the divorce, from, so after her mother divorced, after her mother and father divorced, it became very hard. I don't know if the mom wasn't getting alimony or child support or Fred. Was you not paying no child support? I mean, I just want to know, or was the mom just not being responsible with the money that she was getting? Yeah, I'm just a little confused because, I mean, the way that Bree has been sharing this story, it's almost like when they got divorced, the mom didn't get anything. There was no child support, and her mom just had to figure it out on her own. So she said that the mother had got depressed and things, and the job that she was working, it just really wasn't paying a lot. And so yeah, Bree said, she wanted to help her mom, and I ain't gonna say the only way she could think of, but apparently the strip club was, one of the easier ways to do it. And so Tasha was like, well, you didn't hear your mom's voice or your dad's voice that would just pop in your head. And Bree was like, listen, I was gonna get that money. I was on collecting the bag. That's all I could think about. That's all I was concerned about. She put her mindset where as long as she seen them dollars, she was going to dance to make her dance. Hey, she was dancing all night long because as long as she seen them bands, she was going to be dancing. Oh, I didn't share this part. So when she had mentioned about because of, being around the women and, just starting to develop these levels of attraction toward, females and stuff like that. Tasha had confessed that she also had a certain level of attraction towards women during a certain period of her time in her life. And I think she said it was when she was 14, and then it lasted all the way up until she was 19, I believe. I think with Tasha's case, it almost sounded like, I don't know if it was because she just was curious or if something happened. And the way Tasha kind of, because she was getting emotional, and I mean they both were getting emotional talking about this, but Tasha was definitely it almost felt like maybe something happened, or she was being maybe abused or molested or something like that, or something happened. I don't think it was just an organic type of feeling as far as Tasha's concerned. But yeah, so whew, that was a lot. That was a lot in that episode. But I'm not gonna lie, I was right. Cause I called it in the first episode when Jay Brooks made that little statement people gonna be shocked to hear about Bree's little past. I kind of knew then. She probably used to be something I was hoping not a stripper, but yeah. I was definitely along those lines. So the next scene is Bree and Elijah. So this is the photo shoot day. And so, Elijah wants, so basically Elijah is trying to figure out where he wants this photo shoot to happen. There's different props set up. There's this foil wall. I call it a foil wall, but some type of metallic that looks like foil on the wall, and then there's the bed and there's a bench. So there's different little prop setups for this photo shoot, but Elijah is pushing for this bed and stuff. And so when Bree arrives, when Bree arrives, Elijah is basically telling her I want to push the limits, is what he said. I just want to push the limits. And he brings up about maybe putting her on the bed, and she's like, sir, you're not putting me on the bed. Sorry. Now that's one scene that I will happily skip. And she was just like, you trying to put me on this bed and show my goods and stuff, and I don't do that no more. That she is a new creature in whom God has set free. I felt that. He is truly free indeed, whom the Son sets free. Ah! is free indeed. So yeah, she's like, nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. So so then they go in, Bree gets her hair and makeup done. And so initially, when they first showed that wig, and they wanted the wig to match her hair because her hair is blonde. And so when they showed that wig, I was just like, oh Lord, what Barbie wig did they just go pull off a mannequin? Oh, I'm so sleepy, y'all. I'm trying to get through this review, but I am very sleepy and tired. So yeah, they're doing the hair and makeup, and they show a little glimpse of this wig, and the wig just looking like it was pulled off a Barbie from a mannequin. And I've never looked at someone's album cover and said, "Oh, that makes me want to get their album because they look like they can sing." I've never been that type of person. Maybe there are people like that exist that, if your album cover looks good, then they're going to be more enticed to buy it and to listen to the music and stuff. But no, I gotta hear a sample. And if the samples ain't sampling, if you ain't sounding the way you should be sounding, then yeah, I'm not going to waste my time. Remember when Walmart, oh my gosh, this is so nostalgia. Remember when Walmart used to have the section of CDs, and remember when you used to actually hear the clips of all of the CDs that they had? Gosh, those were the days, man. They used to have this whole 3 rows of just CDs, and you would just take the CD and you would put it up under the scanner and it would literally play the song. Gosh, those were the days. Yeah, so Bree's look, I mean, the different looks that she had, it just, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, if she was trying to be a model or whatnot, then I guess yes, but this is just for music. People don't care about can we get the music first? Let's do this music first, then get a cover and shoot later. And I feel like they're doing it backwards. The girl ain't even got no music, and you trying to put together a whole photo shoot, and we don't even know what sound she's looking for or what sound she's going with. I mean, she did say she's not gospel, she's godly, which I do like that phrase. I'm not gospel, I'm godly. And so the music that she wants to put out is life music. And she wants to kind of, be inspirational, almost like non-denominational churches, and then churches that actually do have a denomination, like Apostolic, Pentecostal, Baptist, Kojic. I don't even think Kojic is technically a denomination. So when she said that she is godly, not gospel, it made me think about denominations and how they don't want to claim. Though I don't understand why we get so caught up in denominations, because at the end of the day, I believe that God is looking for one church without spot, wrinkle, or blemish. That's what the word says now, isn't it? That's what the word says. So, but yeah, I digress. And then Elijah, he makes the comment talking about, well, I was dressed in white, wasn't I? As if that means that you are godly. Because Elijah wanted to do this shoot with her on the bed, and I guess have some type of seductive type of feel to it, but I'm so really over talking about Elijah, and it don't even make no sense. Okay, so then they started to do Bree's makeup. They started to do Bree's makeup and her hair. And so when they originally brought out the wig, I was a little like, nah. Let me say, nah. Because they brought out this Barbie looking wig, and of course, it was blonde, and it from when they initially showed it, it looked very cheap. It looked very synthetic. It looks like any amount of heat, it will melt. And so, but they brought the wig out, and of course they, was doing her makeup and getting her all put together and dolled up and stuff. And so your talent is what's going to speak for you. I don't think picture covers and, maybe to the unknown eye, but for me, it's the talent. So I would have to hear something or have heard something of yours previously to be able to say, I'm interested. Let me see what this album looking like. I don't think I've ever looked at an album cover and said, oh, this album is going to be fire, or oh, this is going to. So I don't know what the purpose of the photo shoot was, because she ain't got no music. It's like, we ain't heard no music. We ain't heard a demo. We ain't heard a beat. I mean, she gave a little snippet of something at the birthday party, and that was no music, acapella, rocky start. So, yeah, I don't know what the purpose of this photo shoot really was, but yeah, they had it. So Bree, she's like thinking that they're gassing her up, and she's like, oh, because when people, they're like, oh, that's it, yes, give it to me. Oh wow, you look great. So in her mind, she's thinking that they're like gassing her up, gaslighting her, telling her lies because they really know that she looks ridiculous. But when she seen the pictures in the camera, she was actually quite impressed herself, and was like, she really didn't recognize who she was. And so, maybe to Elijah's point, that's what he's trying to get her to see. Like, there is so much potential. There is so much greatness in you, but you don't even see it in yourself yet. So if you don't see it in yourself, it's going to be hard for other people to see it now. To Elijah's benefit, apparently he can look beyond the veil. And see what others can't see, as far as with Bree, her image and what her potential could be. But that don't mean that you just take the girl and literally change everything about her. I don't think you need to change everything about a person for them to have a little bit more confidence, or for them to exude a certain type of energy when it comes to people and connecting with them. So yeah, that was that scene. So next scene is Tasha and her mother. So Tasha's mom, she comes over to visit. So in this scene, we get a little background history about Tasha and her marriage. Her husband's name is Varan, and I think he is a pastor. And so, like I said previously, I knew that Tasha was married, and I knew that shortly after the marriage, she was filed. I don't know if she filed. Well, I know she didn't file, but shortly after the marriage, they had split, and they've been sort of in this separation stage, probably for the last 2 years, maybe. So she gives background. She got married. They got married in 2019, and she was talking about the wedding, which, by the way, because I follow Tasha on Instagram, and so I remember when she had a whole open invite to her weddings. Literally, the girl said anybody could come to the wedding. There's an open invite, and she wants everybody to be there, or anybody that's willing to be there, come. And so I do remember the invites, and like I said, she was definitely making it public that it was a public event. Now the reception, I'm sure it was closed and private, but the wedding, anybody can come to the wedding. So, and she apparently did have that. So they were talking about that, but she had mentioned that, the marriage hasn't been the best journey, obviously, because they're separated. And so I never knew, and even when she announced the separation, and when it, got into the gospel news or whatnot, even when she announced the separation, she never explained why or what happened. Like, we never knew what happened, but I'm going to get into that a little bit later in this review. So she never explained why. She just said that it hasn't been the best journey. And so again, she's got her legs whacked. She didn't get her cootie cat whacked, but she got her legs whacked, and she's feeling nice and smooth. And she's saying, Dion or Varan, I don't know why I keep saying, I'm saying Dion because that's Nikki's husband, but she keeps saying that Varan, he loves a woman with good legs and stuff like that, and he always complimented her on her legs. So that was part of the reason why she decided to get them waxed. But nonetheless, so she mentions that. So I guess Tasha has actually been married also. So her and Bree, they really do have a lot of parallels to, different personalities, of course, but experiences, they definitely can relate, because apparently Tasha was married previously and divorced, and now she's in her second marriage. headed to divorce. And Bree has been divorced, remarried, and also, well, I'm not gonna say also because I don't know where her stance is with her current marriage. And again, that has not been talked about. She hasn't really brought it up outside of the conversation that she had with her brother and her mom when they came to visit. But yeah, so we don't know where she stands with her husband. But I mean, he's not there. And listen, when you two different places with your spouse, I'm gonna tell you that usually means there's trouble in the camp. I mean, unless it's like, military or, something that would really require you to be in two different places. This does not, I feel like this really didn't require her to be in two different places. Like there was nothing that she really needed to do to get back to Detroit as far as music. Maybe his job can't relocate, or he can't just jump and move because clearly she works from home, so she can move anywhere. But she ain't and again, her being in Detroit was to focus on the music, but yet she ain't done nothing music related. Like, she ain't done nothing music related. So why are you here? But again, that's just something that I've been noticing. So her mom asked her about, oh yeah, so I think I mentioned about the Tasha and being divorced, and it's basically just not a good look. And so as we know in the church, divorce is not a good look. However, the Bible does give rights to divorce. And so her mom, she mentions that and talks about that. But her mom, she basically asks, how does she feel about Baran now? Like, what is her feelings toward her husband at this very moment? And Tasha's just like, I still love the man. Like, I still love him. Can't just flip the switch on and off because we're in a marriage. So apparently Tasha's husband has been wanting this divorce for well over a year. And so, but I'm not sure why they've not moved forward with the divorce. If you guys are going to be separated, then you both need to be on the same page with the understanding that we are separating to seek God on what our next direction is. And if that direction is to, go ahead and divorce, then y'all need to go ahead and be divorced. Nothing else has taken place that would allude that they are really going to go down this divorce path. Like I said, right now they're separated, but Lisa's or Tasha's mom was just like, you guys really need to use that time apart to seek God and do things that will strengthen the relationship. And you got to put in the work. I feel like this whole show should just be, subtopic, put in the work. Growing in gospel, subtopic, put in the work. Tasha is in the place where she is just wanting to hear from God, and she wants to, she's hoping that when he comes that there is some type of understanding that yes, there is hope for us and we just need to put in the work, or there's no hope for us and we just need to go ahead and meet up with these lawyers and get these papers signed. So that's kind of where Tasha is. She really wants her marriage to work. At least that's what is being presented. She really wants her marriage to work, and she is willing to put in the work. But it kind of goes like, you want to put in the work if you know that the other person is willing to put in that same energy. Match my energy. So that's where we're at with that. Next scene is Tasha and Shayna. So as I mentioned, Shayna is a new character I keep saying character. I don't even know, cast member. I guess cast member. So Shayna is a new cast member who we were introduced to last week in the last episode. And so my sister, she had to remind me of who Shayna was, because I was like, and I did say this. I did say that I probably know a song of hers. I didn't know it's her. And sure enough, I did. She told me of a song. I was like, oh yeah, I've heard of that song. So Shayna and Tasha meet. Now, as we know, Shayna was running her mouth off in the streets, allegedly. So word had got back to Tasha's husband, Varon, and so Varon then confronted Tasha because it was told to Varon that Tasha's the one who told Shayna about the issues in their marriage in the first place. So Veron told Shayna, oh, I'm sorry, so Veron had told, Tasha, brought it up to Tasha, and so Tasha has been upset with Shayna ever since, and, feel like she can't trust her as far as she can throw her, and the girl is pregnant, and she's very tall, and so I don't think Tasha's going to be able to throw her too much of anywhere. But, anywho, so they meet up to discuss, what happened and why, and to come to a resolve, to come to a resolution. Tasha is saying, well, your energy ain't matching. But I mean, even when she came up, like Tasha didn't greet her with a hug, didn't say, "Hey, girl," or I guess would you if you had beef with somebody? But I think if it was somebody that I know that I'm, well, let me not get the line because I'm thinking about some people that I got some issues with now, and literally walk right past them. They don't even exist and don't really want to be in their presence. So, yeah, I get it. So, yeah, so the tension is already there when she arrives. So, of course, if tension is already there, then it's going to be hard to, especially if you come in with your mindset already trying to have good energy and good thoughts and like, okay, yeah, we're going to get through this. It's going to be kind of hard to do that when you walk in the room and you can cut the tension with the steak knife. So they meet up, and so so Shayna enters, Tasha sitting down at the table, just looking. So Tasha mentions that, Jay Brooks wanted them to meet up, and he's the reason why they are kind of in this moment right now as far as meeting and trying to talk this up. And Shayna's like, well, Tasha, Jay Brooks didn't have to set anything up. We could have done this ourselves. Why did it have to take Jay Brooks for us to set up and meet? We girl, you got my number. We could have easily just did this ourselves. Why are we involving other parties? And to Shayna's point, she got a point. But here's the thing though, and I don't know this, but has Shayna actually initiated this setup? Now Shayna's saying this because she's reached out to Tasha and say, hey girl, I'm hearing that you feeling some kind of way, that we need to meet, let's talk about this. I don't know if that was done. From what I'm gathering, the way Shayna probably operates is, I'm not the one with the problem, so therefore I'm not the one that needs to reach out to set it up or set it straight or get an understanding or resolve, because I'm not the one with the issue, because I ain't done nothing wrong. I ain't do nothing. According to Shayna, it's all lies. The lies. Like, it's all lies. So after she said that, of course there was some side eye like, ooh, okay. And then Tasha's like, girl, your energy, it ain't right. And so then Shayna's like, okay, well, let us pray. As Shayna is praying to the gods, praying not to the gods, but to the God, the one and only true and living God. As Shayna is praying, Tasha is just looking like, ain't got her eyes closed. And she watching Shayna like a hawk. Just got boom, boom. Like, she is just watching her. And so Shayna finished the prayer. And so, Shayna thinks that whatever was told to Veron was made up. And Shayna's like, well, that would be true only if the conversation didn't start off or didn't include where we were at, which we were in Shayna's truck, I think, when they were in the car when this happened. That was specifically mentioned, and that's why Tasha is just like, that's a pretty specific detail to include if it did not come from Shayna. Because how else would anybody else be able to just say, oh yeah, they were in this truck, in the new car, in this new truck or something. I don't remember who it belonged to, but they was in a new truck when this conversation took place, and yada yada yada. So, and then the part two of that is, Tasha's like, and it came from my husband. So do you want me to say, I'm not I don't want to involve the person, I guess, who relayed the information to Veron, to Tasha's husband. But Tasha's like, do you want me to think that my husband is just lying? You think he's just making this up, or just, just saying this just for the fun of it? So that's where Tasha is at this point. So Shayna is just like, well, listen, they're lying. Again, the lies. That's Shayna right now. Shayna is just you know, everybody's lying and lying on her and things like that. So essentially, this was a scene that had no resolve, that had no resolution. Essentially, they kind of just walked away and just like, you know, let's essentially just be cordial. Because clearly, you know, you feel one way and I feel another way. You believe one thing, I believe another, and we just not coming to a agree to disagree. And so, with that being said, that's where they stand. So, is it resolved? I don't even know. I don't think it's resolved. I think it's just more so we're just going to end it where it is and just, you know, let bygones be bygones and let the cards fall where they may fall. So the last scene, finally, Tasha's husband arrives in town. And clearly Tasha is trying to get her back broke. And so she really wants to set the mood and, you know, get the energy all, you know, ready because the girl's hot and ready, okay? Hot and ready. She has a private chef come in and, you know, make them dinner and things. And she also has a violinist. Now, I don't know. Like, if I'm gonna have one thing to have a personal chef or a private chef come in and cook the food, but then I don't know if I would have like a violinist if my place was not like big to make it really feel like, wow, this is. Because here's the thing, I don't want a violinist right next to my ear. Like, I mean, it ain't like she in no mansion or anything like that. So, you know, the violinist is dag near sitting at the table with them. And so, yeah, I don't know. But it was still cute. It was still cute. So he comes in and, you know, of course, being the wife, you know, Tasha's like, let me take your coat off and let me cater to you. And then that's the only words I know. I only know the first line. Let me cater to you. But anywho, so yeah, she takes this jacket off, hangs it up, and you know, she's you know, just trying to be sweet. She has a nice dress on, and Veron came in all, you know, clean, had a nice little, you know, turtleneck with with a blazer and stuff. So, you know, it looks nice. Like they actually look like they put effort and like it was a date. And so, you know, Tasha thanks him for coming, and you know, kind of just lets him know how appreciative she is of him coming, because I guess, you know, maybe he said that he was going to come before and did not show up, or things changed. And so she was not really, she wasn't 100% confident that he was actually going to show up, but he did. And so then Tasha then presents him with gifts. Again, your nickname is going to be the Gifter, because you just want to give everybody a gift. But she presents Veron with a gift. And so the first gift was a lock. And so the meaning behind the lock was because apparently, now we're getting into some bombs that's going to be released, y'all. So get ready. Take cover. So apparently Tasha had done things to betray his trust. And because of that, he's been very guarded. And I think he's always just been a private and guarded person, like even when they met. But, you know, it's one thing to be guarded when we meet, and because, you know, that's just my natural nature of a person. But then when you actually do something to betray my trust, then I'm really gonna, you know, be private and closed off and just, you know, I'm really going to lock all my feelings and emotions, and I'm just gonna lock it all away. And so she had got this lock as a metaphoric way to say that, hey, I know right now things are locked up, but I'm praying that, you know, you will eventually, you know, open back up to me, and trust me, and allow me to earn that trust. So I was like, okay, all right, I get it. So then she proceeds with another gift. And now this one, I didn't know. So apparently Tasha has a drinking problem. Or And I don't want to say she has a drinking. Well, no, because she says she indulges in her alcohol maybe a little more than what she should, and it maybe causes additional issues and rifts and arguments because obviously the person is drunk. Here's my thing, and you can say what you want to say, but from my understanding of the Bible. And I'm not going to go into scriptures and stuff, but from my understanding, nowhere in the Bible does it say that liquor, if I drink liquor, so meaning if I have a glass of wine or anything that involves alcohol, if I drink it, I am damned to hell and I am sinning and God is not pleased or anything. No, that's not where I don't read anywhere in there where it says that. What it does say is that anybody that drinks to the capacity of where they are acting a fool of themselves, that's where the sin is. Even with Lot, the sin was not because he drank the wine. It was because he became unknowing of himself. He didn't, he drank so much that he was drunk. He became drunken, So yeah, when you get drunk and you're unaware of what's going on, or you're, doing things and just being, just what drunk people are, what drunk people are, that's where the sin comes in. And so for anybody that does not know the line, does not know the limit or for the balance, then yeah, you should just stay away from it altogether. You just need to put the bottle away, throw it in the trash, don't even buy it, because clearly you have no meter to be able to gauge, okay, I only need one and that's where I'm gonna stop it at. No, you just want to keep going to the point where you do become drunken, and that's where you become a fool. And yeah, it leads to foolish actions and foolish things, and that's the sin. That's why drinking is a sin. But to say that it should just be complete, like if I drink it or if I'm out, toasting or just a celebration and I have one, like that, I'm not going to hell. Then that's just my belief, and I stand by that. And hey, just remember that your daddy didn't wear a condom when you were born. So, I talked about the lock. So the shirt. So the next gift. So the reason why I bring this up is because the next gift says she was like, she overindulges in her liquor, and so she presents him with a shirt that says "Stop drinking." I guess for him to wear, and so that's like a reminder to her to just stop drinking. So those were her gifts, and so then he comes out and says like, well, I also have a gift for you too. So it's just a gift exchange at this point. And so he presents her and he basically says, I've said this, again and again. And of course he puts on his preacher voice. Boy, I just wanted to just like talk normal. You was not in a service. Talk normal. Got on your preaching voice. What you got on your preaching voice for? So he proceeds to present her, and before he shows her the gift, he's like, I've always said that time will tell. Time will tell the story. And, he's talking real deep and very, preacher-like, as if they are trying to go into battle, into Gilead and the lion's den. And when he went in, the lion did not eat Daniel, but God. And, that's how he's kind of talking as he's presenting this gift to her. And so he says that, time will tell the tale. I've always said that time will tell the tale. And so it ends up being a watch. Oh, he said this is an expensive gift. She's like, this, very cute. And I love the watch, blah, blah, blah. So then she's like, well, I have one more gift for you. I have to go get it. And so the girl goes, she leaves, she comes back in, and she has on her lingerie, and, she has the girls out, the Tasha'S is what she called them out. And, of course, she just got them legs waxed, so, of course, they shining and glistening and stuff. And so, she comes out. Now, here's the thing again. church folks, and also I don't know if this was for the scene, because she was trying to be funny and comedic, and now he may like this stuff, I don't know, but when she came out, she was making jokes in a way like, oh, are you going to, I have some oil. I would like for you to anoint me from the top of my head to the soles of my feet. I want you to anoint me with the oil and rub me down and stuff. And like, that's how she's saying. And then she's like, I want to be I want to be Daniela in the Lion's Den, and I want you to lock me up. And, and I'm just like, I mean, it's funny as a viewer, we're watching it. But if I was Varan, and I don't know, maybe he likes this stuff, I don't know. But I'm just saying, for me, if I was Varan, I would just be looking like, girl, if you don't stop talking about Jesus, because to me, that's almost like just having sex to gospel music. Like, we're not trying to do that. Like, that's not what I want to hear. I do not want to hear a sermon. I don't want to hear any reference to God in the bed. Like, tell me some other stuff, like what you trying to and they married, so they can say this. I ain't married, so I can't say it, but they married, so they can so. But no, she comes out quoting scriptures and being funny and comedic with it, but still it's just like, girl, that is, I mean, I'm sure he was going like, I'm sure. But so now here's the thing, and this is where the bomb is, y'all, so get ready. So she proceeds to walk towards him to lure him into the lion's den. And so she, stretches her hand out to her, or she stretches her hand out to him, and she's just like, so you just gonna leave my hand out here? Like, you ain't gonna grab my hand? And he's just like, I mean, so I didn't know that this was what we were going to do. I didn't think that I was coming over here to do this. And when he said that, my heart just kind of like, ooh. Oh, the rejection. And then it's one thing to be rejected, but then to be rejected on national television. Oh. So, yeah. So she's just like, wow. Well, I mean, she's just like basically taken back, and, she kind of falls back into this place of, wow, I've just been rejected from my husband. And I guess so that's been a part of this has been a problem in their marriage, because she had mentioned in her confessional about how she would buy lingerie and all this stuff and, would wear it and put it on, and she said that, he wouldn't even look up from his phone. She would buy all this stuff, all this cute lingerie, and the man wouldn't even look up from his phone to even acknowledge her and stuff. And here's where the bomb comes in. So then she says, I know a lot of people probably wouldn't do this and stuff, but I'm not a lot of people. And before it comes out, or before, people, beat me to the punch, I'm just going to go ahead and let it be known and just tell you right here, right now, that I apologize. Wait for it. For having an affair. What? So that's why, or this is part of the reason now, because it could be multiple reasons, but the affair is probably what did it, and that's probably why Varan had filed the divorce or filed for separation, and this is why they are in the place that they are in currently, as of when this episode aired, or when this was filmed. I shouldn't even say when it aired, but when this episode was filmed. So, yeah, Tasha, you done had an affair. Oh, golly, Jesus, you done had an affair. But here's the thing. She said that she knows that she needs affection. She needs someone that's going to make her feel. And I feel like that's fair for anybody and everybody that, they want to feel love. Like, don't just tell me you love me when you think about it, but I want to feel loved. I want to know, like, that you look at me, and when you look at me, you're so thankful and grateful to God that you have me. Make me feel, love, kiss on me, hold me, caress me, like she's very, she wants affection and intimacy. And apparently that was not happening for a very long time, for the duration of their marriage, and which is crazy because y'all had just got married, so y'all should really still be in this honeymoon phase. But apparently that fire sizzled real quickly, and so so she's just like explaining like this is, well, I think in her confessional she's explaining this, and so yeah, she throws it out there that I apologize for having an affair, and what is it that I mean, I really thought that I wanted to have a good night, and I wanted us to rekindle and really come to a place of understanding, and so here's the thing, she's like, I mean, you just don't want us because the chef here, the violinist here, you don't want to break my back down, you don't want to you don't want to tear down the walls of Jericho. And so, but he's just really just sitting there, and honestly, he's just like, I'm not about to do this. So then he says, we can cut it, like, we can cut. And then Tasha's sitting like, we can unmic me, go ahead and unmic us. So then production comes in, they're starting to unmic, and he's just like, yeah, we're not about to do this. This is not what I'm here for at all. And this is not what I was told, or this is not what I was planning to be here for at all. And so, yeah, that's how that scene ends, and that's the end of that episode. So, a lot of bombs, y'all. A lot of bombs. Bree apparently was a lesbian at one point in time. Tasha has had, lesbian experiences throughout her younger days. And then Bree was a stripper in the strip club, y'all. And then Tasha then had an affair on her husband, y'all. I mean, all these bombs. I mean, it was so many bombs, y'all. I don't even know what to say. Till now I'm just waiting for Elijah to say he's bisexual. Who knows? So, thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Please, like I said in the beginning, like, comment, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you to everyone that has reviewed, or I keep saying review like y'all doing this. Thank you to everyone that has viewed my reviews for the show, and yeah, I'm just happy that you guys are enjoying it. And until next time, I'll see you guys next week for the next one.